Hello everyone, my name is Amy Diana Bifabe, your history student for today's video. So, did you know that the Philippines was once branded as the freest press in Asia? So what happened? So today, we will discuss about the history of communication media in the Philippines. Let's start in pre-colonial era. An indigenous form of communication had already been inexistent in the country. People were writing on the bark of trees using knives, or on leaves using the saps of trees as ink. Literature was already developed. The tutol, folktales, kumintang, war songs, bugtong, riddles, darangan, epic poetry, hudhud, wedding song. Western culture became the basic foundation of the present social, political, and cultural structure of the Philippines. The Spanish colonial rule on 1521 to 1898. Del Superior Gobierno, the first newspaper established in the Philippines, catered to the Spaniards, contains news from Spain. La Solidaridad, first nationalistic newspaper mouthpiece of the reformists of the propaganda movement. Prominent artists also appeared at this time. The Espoliarium of Juan Luna, the Marcha Nacional Filipina of Julian Felipe, the Florante at Laura of Francisco Balagtas, the American colonial period on 1898 to 1946. Since newspapers are now published by American journalists, all the newspapers are now pro-American, written in English and based on religious and political partisanship. The Japanese occupation on 1941 to 1945. All publications except used by the Japanese were disbanded. The only newspaper allowed is Manila Tribune, Taliba, La Vanguardia. Underground papers that were either typewritten or mimeographed were the ones that provided information.
And as for the post-war era, year 1945 to 1972, which is the golden age in Philippine journalism, I am going to give you more information about this. Televisions were introduced in 1960s, but only programs in the US were showed as it is cheaper than producing local live shows. Thus, colonial mentality of Filipinos was early developed. PH Press also act as the real watchdog of the government, as the audience is sensitive to national issues and critical of government mistakes. The Marcos years, 1969 to 1986. Martial law was declared at September 21, 1972 by President Ferdinand Marcos. The government regulated all sorts of media outlets including the press, newspapers, televisions, advertisements, and other mediums of information. Department of Public Information was needed in order to publish or air information. Filipino filmmakers such as Lino Broca and Ismael Bernal were able to create films that are focused on poverty, politics, labor, unrest, and other sensitive political issues. People, Power, and Media Coalition in 1986. The assassination of Benigno Ninoy S. Aquino on August 21, 1983 became the turning point of the emergence of alternative media. These were tabloid newspapers and radio stations that defied the government's instructions on how to handle news stories despite constant harassment and intimidation. Effective communication symbols such as yellow ribbon, dress, and confetti contributed to the awakening of the Filipinos. As a revolution made the Marcos administration surrender their position, a new age of leadership began.